Good morning and welcome to your Monday morning devotional. I'm so glad you're with me this morning. What a beautiful morning we have after a weekend of torrential rain. Rain really does bring vibrancy to nature in the gardens of our homes and the surrounding area. Just beautiful after a torrential or a weekend of rain. I want to continue on in the topic of God increasing in our lives as we decrease. So, well, first of all, I want to look at the fact that there are times where we can be so full of ourselves that God has to humble us and decrease us so that he can increase in our life. In Proverbs 16:18, it says, "Pride comes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall." Now, you may have heard that quoted. You may have said that or thought that about a certain person, place, or political government. But, there's some truth in it. And it's happened in my life quite a few times and to the glory of God. But I want to look at the story in Daniel chapter 4 of Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar is the Babylonian king who brought the Hebrew people into captivity because of their arrogance, and the Lord humbled them. But in chapter 4, verse 29, it says this about Nebuchadnezzar. "At the end of 12 months, a year's reign, he was walking on the roof of the royal palace of Babylon. And the king answered and said, 'Is not this great Babylon, which I have built with my mighty power, as a royal residence and for the glory of my majesty?' While the words were still in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven. 'O King Nebuchadnezzar, to you it is spoken. The kingdom has departed from you, and you shall be driven from among men, and your dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. And you shall be made to eat grass like an ox, and 7 periods of time shall pass over you, until you know that the Most High rules the kingdoms of men and gives it to whom he wills.'" That sovereignty of God. I've seen many men and women who became full of the pride of life and had seen the wonders of God, have gone and worshipped him, but saw that God was a key to their success rather than he is success. And I've seen people climb the ladder in work, in home, and prospering in property and material things and money and all of that, to turn around and say, "Look what I have done. Look what I have built with my own hands. Look what I have accomplished for my life, for my glory, and for my majesty." Oh, how I've seen many fall in that trap. Jesus said, "What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and yet forfeits his soul?" What I love about God is that his desire is that we don't forfeit our soul. And in this particular story of Daniel, it says that Nebuchadnezzar did go out into the fields. His mind went crazy and he became like a wild beast. It says that his fingernails and toenails grew out to be like an animal's, and he ate the grass like the ox, and the hair on his back grew so long like that of an eagle's feathers or eagle's wings, and the dew of the morning rested upon his back. And I just have to think what an unsightly thing that was. But at the end of it all, here's the beauty of God. It says that he was restored in his mind, and he began to acknowledge God and praise him, because God said, "You will see that I am the Most High who gave you your kingdom." So in verse 37, he says, "Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol and honor the King of heaven, for all his works are right and his ways are just. And those who walk in pride he is able to humble. A man who is so proud, who thought he had accomplished everything for his own majesty, saw that even in becoming like a wild beast, God's ways were perfect, because it brought him to a place where he came to his real senses and recognized God. God brings humility to those who walk in pride." Well, I pray that if you are in that place and you need to contemplate the word, let it sink into your heart. Pray about it and say, God, if there be anything in me that is not of you, remove it from me that I may receive the blessing of trusting in you. God bless.